Hi, this is Eric Gardiner with HeyEric.com, EXP Realty, and today we're going to talk about the 3 rules to consider when buying a home. So there's a lot of reasons people move. Maybe they're growing out of their home, maybe they need to downsize, maybe their lease is ending, maybe they're moving out of their parents' home, maybe they're relocating for a job. There's so many reasons that people move, and it's wise to evaluate these 3 basic rules of if it's a good idea for you. The first rule is make sure you have a comfortable monthly payment. When you go through the lending process, you're going to talk to a lender and they're going to talk about debt to income ratios, and you're going to be comparing your new mortgage payment to maybe what your lease payment previously was. Or maybe you didn't have a lease payment. Maybe you lived with your parents, or maybe you had a previous mortgage. But when you go through that underwriting process, when you get pre-qualified by a lender, make sure you understand what that mortgage payment includes. Typically, it'll have an escrow account that pays for taxes and insurance, and make sure you're comfortable with that dollar amount. And that's something that you need to think about throughout the process, or even before you start looking at homes. Am I okay with a $3,000 a month payment? Is it worth it? Is this house worth that? You know, you hear a lot about when people lease homes that you're paying someone else's mortgage. There is some truth to that. You know, when you rent a home from someone else, you're paying down their principal. There's always this give and take when buying your own home. Your payment may be a little higher. Maybe you have a sweetheart lease, but with a higher payment, at least you're investing in yourself, investing in your own home and your own future. So first off, make sure you're comfortable with the monthly payment. Second rule, make sure you plan to live there for, I say, at least 3 years. If you buy a house and all of a sudden you decide 6 months later you gotta move, you're probably gonna lose a little bit of money. Over time, real estate appreciates. The issue is if people move too fast and you need to sell, you know, with transaction costs, with lack of appreciation, with variabilities in the overall market, you may lose a little bit of money, and you don't wanna do that. So make sure you have a long-term outlook on your position there. Make sure you're gonna be there for a while. Number 3, and super important, is have at least 3 months of reserves, like an emergency fund. You should have that anyways in life. You know, 3 to 6 months emergency fund is super important. Make sure you do that before you start shopping for a home. But have that emergency fund available for that mortgage payment. Always available in a savings account. You should have that for all your monthly living expenses. That's something I can't stress enough. I hate to see it when, you know, all of a sudden there's a disruption of income and you can't make your monthly payment. It's a horrible situation to be in, with car payments, house payments, all those types of expenses. So make sure to create a little buffer for you. As you prepare to buy a home, you know, you could have this conversation with me, with, you know, whoever you want, but you want to save up a little bit for the down payment, maybe for some closing costs, inspection, appraisal. And so you're going to want a couple $1,000s to get a lot of this done, if not more. So as you prepare for it, also be thinking about, okay, now we need to save to have our 3-month buffer in case something happens. So those are my 3 rules for typically should you buy a home. You know, in your situation, maybe you got a sweetheart lease and there's no reason to move. And congratulations, that's great for you. But when you do decide to, think about these 3 rules and evaluate whether it's a good time for you to get into the housing market. Thanks for joining me. Follow the link below to schedule a call with me today. Thanks.